Hello everybody, myself Jyoti Mayekar and this is fifth lecture on spectra of diatomic molecules, and today we are going to study diatomic molecule as a simple harmonic oscillator. In the earlier lecture we have seen diatomic molecule as a rigid rotator where M1 and M2 are connected by a rigid rod. In the next lecture we have seen diatomic molecule as a non-rigid rotator where M1 and M2 were connected by a massless elastic rod. Now here in case of a diatomic molecule as a simple harmonic oscillator, M1 and M2 they are connected by spring, massless spring of spring constant K. They oscillate only in x direction. They are performing simple harmonic motion. They vibrate in such a way that center of mass remains fixed because no external forces acting on the molecule are being considered. And for center of mass to remain constant, M1 and M2 must always move in opposite directions out of phase by 180 degree. So suppose the spring gets stretched, then they are moving in the opposite direction. Suppose it is getting compressed, then also they are moving in the opposite direction. So M1, M2, they are always moving in the opposite direction, 180 degree out of phase. So look here, this is the M1 and M2 which are connected by spring. So either when they are coming, when the spring is compressed, they are moving in towards the center, or they are moving from away from the center, but both the atoms, they are actually moving in the opposite direction. So consider an oscillator representing a diatomic molecule. Suppose M1, M2 are the two atoms which are connected by a spring. O is origin and distance of M1 from origin is x1 and distance of M2 from origin O is x2. Now let L be the distance between mean positions of M1 and M2. X is instantaneous displacement of spring. Displacement of spring at any particular instant of time. X2 minus x1 is the instantaneous length of the spring. So now instantaneous displacement of spring, it will be instantaneous length minus distance between mean positions of M1 and M2. Now this x, it is positive when spring is stretched. This x is negative when spring is compressed. And suppose we have two forces F1 and F2 which are the restoring forces acting on the spring. Now for mass M1 we can write, we know that restoring force, it is given by kx. Force का formula है mass into acceleration. Acceleration we can write as a double derivative of x, that is, we know that x is displacement, dx by dt is velocity, d2x by dt square, it is acceleration. That is how mass into acceleration, this formula I have written. So for mass M1, M1 d2x1 upon dt square equals to kx, and M2 d2x2 upon dt square equals to minus kx. Okay, so these are the two equations which we have written. In first case I have written kx, in second case I have written minus kx, because both M1 and M2 they are moving in the opposite direction. That is how in first case suppose it is my plus, then in the second case it will be minus. Now what we will do, we will multiply equation 1 by M2 upon M1 plus M2 and second equation by M1 upon M1 plus M2. So when I do that, तो क्या मिलेगा M1 M2 upon M1 plus M2 d2 x1 upon dt square equals to M2 upon M1 plus M2 kx. एंड सेकेंड इक्वेशन को मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो हमें मिलेगा M1 M2 अपॉन M1 प्लस M2 d2 x2 अपॉन dt स्क्वायर इक्वल्स टू माइनस M2 अपॉन M1 प्लस M2 kx. दैट इज इक्वेशन 4. नाउ वी विल सब्ट्रैक्ट इक्वेशन 3 फ्रॉम इक्वेशन 4. तो क्या हो जाएगा, दिस इक्वेशन 4 विल बी एज इट इज. इसमें से ये सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे. सो d2 x2, इस इक्वेशन में से वी कैन टेक M1 M2 अपॉन M1 प्लस M2 कॉमन. इनसाइड द ब्रैकेट यू विल गेट d2 x2 अपॉन dt स्क्वायर माइनस d2 x1 अपॉन dt स्क्वायर. एंड यहाँ पे आई कैन टेक kx कॉमन. So let us see what we are getting. So we will be getting M1 M2 upon M1 plus M2 d square upon dt square x2 minus x1, d2 x2 upon dt square minus d2 x1 upon dt square में से भी मैंने d2 d square upon dt square common लेके inside the bracket I have written x2 minus x1 minus kx M1 upon M1 plus M2 upon M1 plus M2. Since L is constant, the distance between the mean positions of M1 and M2, that is constant. So since L is constant, हम लोग को पता है constant का derivative it is always 0. So I can write this d square upon dt square x2 minus x1 की जगह पे I can write d square upon dt square x2 minus x1 minus L, because anyways constant का derivative 0 होता है. So I can do that. And we know that M1 M2 upon M1 plus M2, that is nothing but mu, which is called as reduced mass of the molecule. ये भी हम लोगों ने इसके पहले के लेक्चर्स में किया था. सो म्यू डी स्क्वायर अपॉन डी टी स्क्वायर x2 माइनस x1 माइनस एल इज इक्वल्स टू माइनस के एक्स, बिकॉज m1 अपॉन m1 प्लस m2 प्लस m2 अपॉन m1 प्लस m2 हो जाएगा m1 प्लस m2 अपॉन m1 प्लस m2, so that will get cancelled and we will get 1, so that is how we get minus kx. So this is the equation, and suppose x2 minus x1 minus L, we know that it is x, so we are getting basically equation mu d2x upon dt square equals to minus kx. So suppose मैं k upon mu की जगह पे ओमेगा 0 स्क्वायर सब्सटीट्यूट करती हूँ, आई विल गेट द इक्वेशन d2x अपॉन dt स्क्वायर प्लस ओमेगा 0 स्क्वायर x इक्वल्स टू 0. दिस इज द इक्वेशन ऑफ अ सिंपल हार्मोनिक ऑसिलेटर whose mass is mu. We are very familiar with this equation because this is the equation of SHM. So omega 0, it is the natural angular frequency of the oscillator. So corresponding natural frequency is mu 0 equals to 2 pi by omega 0. Omega 0 upon 2 pi. So because we know that omega 0 equals to 2 pi mu 0, so I can write mu 0 equals to omega 0 upon 2 pi. I substituted the value of omega 0 here, so I got 1 upon 2 pi under root k by mu. In quantum mechanics, we have solved the problem of simple harmonic oscillator, and we know that energy of the oscillator is discrete. So quantum mechanics में we have already solved this kind of a simple harmonic oscillator का problem, so we are not going to solve it again. We already know what kind of solution do we get, so that solution we are taking as it is. So we will get E nu, it is equals to nu plus half h omega 0 or nu plus half h cross under root k by mu. ओमेगा 0 की वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट की और you will get nu plus half h nu 0 because under root of k by mu की upon 2 pi, that is nu 0. So here just check what we are getting here. This E nu, it is called as 0 point energy. Yeah, already when you have studied simple harmonic motion in quantum mechanics, you must have come across this equation. So we are getting E nu equals to nu plus half h cross omega 0. When nu is 0, we get E nu equals to half h nu 0, which is called as 0 point energy. So equals to nu plus half h cross की जगह पे I substituted h upon, I can substitute h upon 2 pi. So here I will get nu plus half h upon 2 pi. 2 pi 1 upon 2 pi under root k mu की जगह पे I have written nu 0. That is how I get this equation. So here this nu, it is called as vibrational quantum number, and even when nu is 0, E0 is not equals to 0. That means when vibrational quantum number is 0, still we are not getting energy equals to 0. This energy, the energy which we get, the energy corresponding to vibrational quantum number 0, that is called as E0 equals to half h nu 0, that is called as 0 point energy. So like when nu is 0, we get E0 equals to half h nu 0. When nu is 1, we get E1 equals to 3 by 2 h nu 0. When nu equals to 2, we get E2 equals to 5 by 2 h nu 0. So when we go on substituting with the value of nu equals to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, we get different values of energies. And when we plot the graph of this vibrational quantum number against the energy, we get vibrational energy levels like this. So for nu equals to 0, we have half h nu 0. For nu equals to 1, we have 3 by 2 h nu 0. For nu equals to 2, we have 5 by 2 h nu 0. For nu equals to 3, we have 7 by 2 h nu 0. Now when you will look at this energy levels, these energy levels are equispaced. Between these two energy levels, we have separation h nu 0 here also, even here. So the separation between the two energy levels, it is constant. So what is the conclusion? The vibrational levels are equispaced. Remember that rotational energy levels are not equispaced, if you remember, but here the vibrational levels are equispaced, and for any two successive levels, the spacing between two energy levels, it is h nu 0. Here you can do this 3 by 2 h nu 0 minus half h nu 0. You will get this as h nu 0. Here if you will do 5 by 2 h nu 0 minus 3 by 2 h nu 0, you will again get h nu 0 and so on. So now why most of the molecules are in the ground vibrational state, while in case of rotational energy state, most of the molecules are in excited rotational state? This is a very important concept. Now when we have when I have taken first lecture, that time I told you that rotational energy levels, they are of the order of 0.001 electron volt. Vibrational energy states, they are of the order of 0.1 electron volt. The thermal energy which is there available at room temperature, it is given by E equals to half kT, which is equals to 0.025 electron volt. That means room temperature पे 0.025 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट एनर्जी अवेलेबल होती है. रोटेशनल ट्रांजिशन के लिए जो एनर्जी चाहिए दैट इज 0.001 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट. सो रूम टेम्परेचर में ऑलरेडी उतनी एनर्जी अवेलेबल है. सो द मॉलिक्यूल्स दे आर मोस्टली इन एक्साइटेड रोटेशनल स्टेट. But when we talk about vibrational state, ground vibrational state, transition from ground vibrational state to excited state, there we need energy of the order of 0.1 electron volt. Like at room temperature, the energy which is available, it is 0.025 electron volt. That is why in case of vibrational state, most of the molecules, they are in the ground state. But in case of rotational state, most of the molecules, they are in the excited state. So that is what. Now vibrational spectrum, here the spectrum which we will get related to vibrational energy, it is called as vibrational spectrum. The selection rule is delta nu equals to plus minus 1. The selection rule for rotational spectrum was delta J equals to plus minus 1. J, it is called as rotational quantum number. For vibrational spectrum, selection rule is delta nu equals to plus minus 1. Again, plus sign is for absorption, minus sign is for emission. When a diatomic molecule, it is treated as a simple harmonic oscillator, emission and absorption spectra show only one frequency.